is going to go back to the Ashe, and there will be nidalee again for Dardoch, so avoids the Olaf this time.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting to me because as much as, Olaf is really popular now, and we've seen him in EU LCS as well a bunch, across the world as well, but Olaf, one of the things is when you jungle him, you can increase your speed by keeping your health pool low due to his passive. Nidalee is great at punishing that, right? If you have champions like nidalee or someone else who's going to invade the enemy jungle and try and punish an Olaf, if they're actually going for that strategy where you save your potions and you try and get low in order to get increased attack speed and then vicious strikes heal back up, a surprise invade from somebody who's looking to get a little risky can really snowball a game.
Well, we'll see what Reignover wants to pick, because he's played mostly Olaf and Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai banned away. nidalee may be threatening. He'll actually go to a different pick. Sivir, though, the pick for wildturtle, and it will be Elise for that jungle. So kind of keeping up a bit more with the nidalee.
Yeah, so seeing the nidalee, don't really want to go for the Olaf. And it's funny that we talked about utility AD carries. They're fighting over him here. First pick for Ashe shows up for Team Liquid, and then they answer with the Sivir. So you're going to have speed to try and dodge the arrows if you get time to see them coming. When we also mentioned every time we see Ashe that vision is so important for both teams. For Team Liquid to set up the arrows and for Immortals to try and avoid them. If you get to see where it's shot from, it can help out a lot. One of the big things about Fabbbyyy and his Ashe, contributing to his success last night was the fact that he always found these sniper holes to shoot it from, these pockets of fog of war, and catch the enemy off guard.
Well, certainly did a great job at TL. LeBlanc into the Azir for the matchup there. Fenix, slight counter pick. We'll see how he does in that 1v1. And braum, therefore Matt. So not going for a range support here. We'll take braum, try and block off some of the Azir. Mostly the Sivir damage, though.
Yeah, braum is great against Sivir because you can just nullify the everything that she has, the ricochet as well as the big boomerang coming out. If you bounce, if you put the wall up in front of one of the ricochets, you can kill all of the bounces off of it. But as far as that mid lane counter pick you're talking about, that also attracts a lot of jungler pressure. The Azir LeBlanc matchup, if Azir is left, unpressured by, extra jungle or, extra warding focus from the enemy team, then late game, it makes it hard for the LeBlanc to, create plays and have the same type of effect in a team fight. So Team Liquid look like they actually want to go early game. They want to go high pressure mid.
Yep, looks actually pretty aggressive so far, as Immortals are done with their draft. Hecarim and soraka actually, I almost said Adrian because he's so familiar with the champion, but Adrian will take soraka, and I assume Huni there with the Hecarim, unless they want to get really creative with the jungle pick. So last game almost worked out for Seraph.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely still has a very, very strong presence in top lane, but jungle Hecarim is seeing increased popularity across the world. I'd like to see it more often in the jungle, but for that to happen, top Elise would have to have some crazy buffs somehow, and that's just not going to be the case. Going into trundle as well is going to be hard for any melee champion, so Huni is going to have his work cut out for him. We'll see if, Team Liquid, as we said, they might try and increase the pace here. Ashe actually can get off some decent early pressure in other lanes with the early arrows, not necessarily looking for them in her own lane. That being said, Ashe and braum, if they can get soraka with anything, then it's hard for her to get away.
Well, I like it. Both teams sort of what we expected. Team Liquid a bit more aggressive moving into this one. Few changes here for Immortals. Feel like they're adapting a little bit more to the meta game as they play week on week, which is what we expect from these teams. But I'm ready for Huni to blow up. I think he's looking at that AD carry saying, you know what, Fabbbyyy, we've got a good Ashe. I'm going to try and take you out every single fight.
Yeah, Olaf would have been great for doing that, but especially with the Sivir speed boost. But you know that Hecarim is the original Sivir speed boost, gets a bunch of extra damage, is going to try and one-shot him.
Well, check in with us on Twitter and let us know your favorites to win this match by using the hashtag IMT win or the hashtag TL win, as two very strong-looking teams. Immortals still looking like top 2 form. Liquid trying to break back into the top 4 conversation, I think. This will be a way to start it. But Immortals, they always go down, if ever, with a fight. TL going to have a lot of work cut out on their hands for this one.
Yeah, what a resurgence it would be for Team Liquid if they're able to take down Immortals, who, as we said, are definitely looking like top 2 team in North America. I mean, Fabbbyyy comes in, has a great first couple of weeks in the North American LCS, and really helps the team turn it right around. Almost on the level of the effect of Dardoch's substitution. Not quite.
Nope.
But definitely very positive as well. Here comes the invade, though.
Yeah, control for Reignover, tagged by a spear. Dardoch gonna move in, flash Q from Matt, and there's a flash out. Elise gonna keep running. Reignover though, one last spear. Message received. Team Liquid continuing that aggression from level 1.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna go with lane swaps here, because trading flash on the braum for flash on Elise actually reduces Elise's early game presence a lot. And we talked about how important a azir LeBlanc matchup is, where whether it be jungler presence or junglers trying to ward for that matchup, Elise without flash does reduce the threat of that early pressure and may allow Dardoch to really open up this game.
Lourlo just having a dance. Wildturtle just barely gets away, but looks like that lane swap will in fact happen. Immortals going to initiate this, but TL also moving to the top side of the map. As we can check in with the Keystone Masters, nothing crazy sticking out. As Pobelter and Fenix will do battle 1v1. Fenix straight in.
Yeah.
Bit of early harass.
The fervor on hecarim, by the way, it was super busted when spells gave 2 stacks of fervor, because hecarim can get that pretty much on cooldown. He's constantly spamming the Q, and right when he goes in, like, hecarim gets stacks very, very quickly. Even though it's been reduced to 1, it's still extremely strong on him, because he still can stack them up extremely quickly, just a tiny bit less so, and probably won't be enough for him to handle a trundle in a melee matchup.
Well, he does have Ignite, actually. Didn't take a mobility summoner, so can maybe get a bit more aggressive with it. I like it.
That is a very good point. Especially if there is a volatile lane, like, double melee, solo laners down bottom. The junglers did both start on that side, so they won't route down there on their first pass for a gank, but that very well could be one of those lanes that can be affected early on.
Ooh, Fenix in again. Thunderlord's procs. Pobelter gonna have to run out of the way, but trying to clear the creeps back does trade a bit, but Fenix spaces very well there to get good harass down.
Making sure each of them get their Thunderlords procs. Whenever you go in for a trade, as far as mid lane goes, the Thunderlords, making or breaking your trade most of the time. You have to be sure that you're going to be able to get it. If your opponent does and you do not, it really stacks up.
Ooh.
Dardoch takes a big chunk there.
Can continue, actually rappel down. Dardoch in trouble, has forced to flash out of the way. Reignover gonna keep chasing, but he doesn't have flash, remember.
Man, he is lucky Matt decided to trade level 1 flashes with Reignover, because he gets shoved right out of Reignover's jungle.
Back in the bottom lane, Huni. Ooh, big chomp there from Lourlo. Pobelter though back in onto Fenix, and Dardoch's early attention to that left side of the map sort of left both mid laners wanting to come in. Early trade though is won by Reignover. Dardoch pretty much every time you face check Elise, it just feels bad.
Yeah, and even there, that was a very long range cocoon, close to max, that was able to hit Dardoch, and Reignover really made up a lot of ground with that exchange. We talked about this mid lane, and it earned Pobelter that presence in mid lane. On the Azir, he could go, aggressive with the trades early on with LeBlanc, which is where it's most crucial. And this burns the teleport from Fenix super early on, which is going to relieve pressure on side lanes as well.
Yep, curious to see if Fenix did opt for that summoner. Maybe not thinking he wants to play too aggressive in the matchup, but teleport LeBlanc, definitely an option mid laners have picked before, but a rarer summoner, I think, on that mid laner.
Yeah, and there you go, just to reinforce the point. We said 5 times, plus Reignover's back there again, putting more wards down. He smites the Raptor buff to walk by mid lane so he can clear out Team Liquid vision if there is any, drops a ward of his own, so now Pobelter can hover on the bottom side of the map, and they're really setting up this Azir to have a good position later in the game after he stacks up.
Just wants to farm it up for now. Got a Negatron Cloak, so feeling safe versus double door. And Huni, though, a little far forward. Lourlo going to slow him down. It's 2v2, though.
Reignover is a bit ahead of Dardoch on this play. Snuck into the brush.
Pobelter chained up. Fenix, though, just going to get some damage down, but good trades here. Moving forward, every auto just trying to harass him out. Pobelter, despite the early defenses, does struggle a bit, and the 2v2 dissipates somehow in bottom lane, as Adrian's going to eat some shots, but he'll just trade back and forth.
Yeah, I was about to say it was a very good call for Team Liquid not to go for that gank. because already Lourlo was taking a lot of damage in the exchange. If Dardoch overextended and went for that with no flash, that would have been a Reignover kill this time around. Reignover's level 5, a little bit over him, and he had the brush, as you talked about, face checking Elise. That's where the danger comes from, because that's the free cocoon into combo.
Yep, trust me. Where
It's
I'm
happened
from,
to you.
Where I'm from, fight is very dangerous.
Oh, yes. The Australian poisonous spiders, was it like top 20 most poisonous
Something
out
like
of
that.
25?
Just casually. Face check Elise every morning. Bad times. There's double skirmisher saber actually for those junglers, so kind of continuing the aggressive early play patterns we've seen from them, and get a dip mid here for Reignover, but just walking by for now, making sure Fenix knows that, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah. Remember me. I'm always mid lane. Don't try and go aggressive on my azir.
Well, Pobelter's kept up nicely in farm, so feeling just fine in the mid lane, despite the good harass from Fenix. Level 6 from LeBlanc. Could maybe see some fireworks, but just another trade. Good move there from Pobelter. Does get the trade back.
Yeah, able to get his Thunderlords there just on the end, so that evens up the trade. He was able to make it to that break point where first back you do want to be able to get your Negatron. Here we go, though. Another gank down bottom. Reignover is just River Elise here.
Lourlo's ulted already, though, but the damage is good! Trundle gets first blood, and now Elise has to book it. Lourlo takes another big chunk out, and Dardoch's here for safety.
That's why we point it out every time. Trundle in melee matchups is so hard to get a leg up on. And if you go for one of those ganks, you have to be very careful setting it up. Huni underestimates Lourlo. Now Reignover might be underestimating the 2v2 plus all the minions.
Cocoon, 1v2, 1v3, kind of. Here's actually Huni coming back down. He's TP'd in. He's looking for it. Ulti's in, gets Dardoch, takes out Lourlo as well.
All right, just kidding. That was the way to bait right there. Huni, first attempt on baiting and, getting the 2 versus 2. That one failed. But Reignover picks up the slack. That's why these guys are their dynamic duo. One of them fails. The other one comes back around for the second punch. Haymaker lands, and Huni gets a double kill in the end. All planned.
Yep, calculated. Huni saying worth there, as he does come back with a sheen. So very aggressive as always. Blue buff was looked at by Reignover, but Fenix in the area. Is Pobelter going to get all in here? Perhaps chain lands in for Fenix, goes back. But Pobelter, good patience on the soldiers. Make sure he can trade back effectively.
Yeah. Pretty big swing, actually, as far as the early game does go. But again, every time Reignover, went for something bottom, first he made his stop mid. He's got his paper route. First I'm going mid, then I'll deliver the gank to Huni. And he's dropping off all these wards as he passes mid. Now there's 2 pinks on the upper side for Azir to now hover on. Get over this blue, and there's the vision we're talking about.
Yeah, looks like top lane's looking just fine as well. So Reignover's attention in this bottom half of the map. Not really bugging wildturtle or Adrian. They're keeping up very well in CS, so I guess it's pretty utility-focused top lane, although Dardoch's actually going to visit.
Up.
Arrow misses.
Right.
Fabbbyyy, a rare miss.
Is down. Yeah, that one was, I think maybe they wanted to rush it because Sivir used Spell Shield in a trade. It wasn't on camera, but I think that was the case. Otherwise, it was just a ridiculous move if she also had Spell Shield up.
No, I think it was braum Q that Turtle effectively moved out. So you can see the thought there from TL, but it doesn't work that time. Dardoch, though, he'll be back. Don't you worry. For now, wildturtle and Adrian just going to push out that top lane as Fenix again goes in, but Pobelter looks to outplay. Big ulti back, and here's Reignover. Damage is down, the red smite's good. The auto's still following through, but Reignover lands a huge cocoon. And Pobelter, nope, it's Reignover that gets it.
Man, Reignover is just crushing it this game. That was a great cocoon. Minion line was coming up, 2 clones to choose between. Nails him, had the red smite on him, so that was the giveaway there, and he's able to make very quick choices here as far as target selection. Nice setup from Pobelter as well. Elise hovers just off camera. They're waiting for that LeBlanc all in. This is how Fenix wants to play it. Aggressively trade. Reignover's just waiting out of vision. Immediately, Pobelter goes in for the flash ult, and boom, there's the red smite. Now he's going to be burning once they're revealed, so he's able to choose. Hits it before the minion comes up, and just very clean execution there from Immortals.
And again, all this bottom half action. That's just Reignover assisting every time. Huni, though, continuing to get chunked out. Does pop the E and dash away, but Lourlo, you've already mentioned it, he's got a Tiamat now, starting to bully the lane a bit. Huni's keeping up in CS, which is nice, but things only get worse as Trundle gets more and more farm. As Fenix goes ahead and picks himself up a blue buff. Might help him there in that mid lane matchup, but I think Reignover's the real problem there.
Reignover definitely making his presence felt on this game. Top lane have been left to their own devices, which is how you would like to be as a Soraka lane here with Sivir. Turtle just focused on minion wave control. Adrian just trying to sit in the back, not get arrowed or hit with anything from Braum, because there definitely is kill potential there on a Soraka with Ashe Braum. Plenty of CC, especially with a high damage jungler like Nidalee. She's great with lanes that already have CC to set her up. Free spear landing on something like a Soraka is almost a certain kill. So definitely all props as well to the Immortals duo lane, even though there haven't been much action up there. Inaction is what they want.
Yep, I like that from Fenix. Dashes in, Pobelter runs away. It's almost a test. He's like, is there Elise here? Yes? No? Okay, not this time.
He's feeling him out.
Little did he know Reignover is actually on this bottom half of the map. Clears out a wall. It's got a crap. No!
It's all right.
You got it. It's okay.
Huni's protecting it. Nobody else gonna steal it away. But yeah, I think Huni's actually really, really happy with how this lane is going. Got a double kill to his name. That's gonna make an early Trinity Force. He does have the Ignite for all ins as well, which is very good against Trundle. So as far as the melee matchups do go against Trundle, I think that hecarim being able to take Ignite and getting early elise ganks is definitely a...
Fabbbyyy, oh! Nails Reignover. There's the Q following in. Chains are good, and Fenix just cleans one up.
From all sides, Reignover just gets nailed.
Fenix again, backing onto Pobelter. Does have the ulti, but doesn't quite proc that second sigil.
Oh, trying to chase him down here.
Ooh, turtle.
All right, that's going to be it.
Kicking a sivir is pretty flow chart.
Yeah.
Like, oh, spell shield's up. Never mind. We missed the skill shot. That's all over.
You need to know when to call it quits, so don't overextend. We missed it. Oh well, don't care. Back right off. They got their kill on Reignover. That's what mattered.
Turtle though, farming away. Looks like actually Fabby's gone back, so Essence Reaver on the way. Does have Berserker Greaves early, but you can already see that early map movement's what he's looking for a bit more of as Fenix gets Pobelter with a chain, but Pobelter gonna follow in. Phones pop, Fenix dashes out. And there's Dardoch. Spear not gonna land.
Got that Luden's Echo drop on him though. That one stings. But yeah, Pobelter's doing really well in this mid lane due to all the attention. Their bottom side vision was just cleared out, but Reignover steps in, trying to add the extra couple touches onto this turret. See if they can actually get it down before the dragon shenanigans start, because this is an Infernal Drake. So bottom lane focus will definitely be there. You can see already the duos are heading over.
Yep, everyone's transferring to this bottom half of the map because it is time to do the Drake. Mid tower, they're gonna fall. Great pressure in the early stages. Pobelter and Reignover team up and take the first turret of the game, a crucial one at that. And all of a sudden, big midpoint open. Immortals going straight back for this Infernal Drake.
Yeah, really good job protecting the Azir in the Azir LeBlanc matchup, and then getting the turret eventually and turning it into Infernal Drake is pretty much all boxes checked here for Immortals. Save for the lone pickoff with Ashe arrows. Oh, can I get another? No.
Nope. Reignover's like, not this time. I'm flashing out.
Yeah, everybody knows they got to be ready because Fabbbyyy has been pretty good with those the last few days.
Hit rate's been pretty good this game as well. As Huni is going to collect his mending wave and heal himself back up. Pops that W. Lourlo though, always wanting to threaten. Oh, ulti, back in the tower, not quite enough. Ignites down to Huni, might get chased down. Lourlo's gonna take a bite out with the last tower shot! It was all a ruse, Kobe.
Lourlo in chat. Come on, 1v1, bro. No fair.
Not today. Adrian with the assist. Reignover was also in the area, so it was a bait the whole time.
I wonder, let me try and see if he actually would have got this without the soraka. So, I mean, that's definitely what baits him into the tower shot, but yeah, it definitely he would have got the kill. And he probably would have healed up off of that as well, so he's got the tribute. I mean, that was a really good bait and communication there on Immortals. Adrian's been playing.
Ooh, Turtle hit up by the Braum ulti. Now running away, but Reignover's here, looking for a cocoon. Wants Fabbbyyy. Fabbbyyy flashes. Huni's here, though. Now straight onto the backlines. Huni running rampage there, but he's going to get snared up and killed. Shut down by Fabbbyyy. Here's Pobelter. Huge ulti back in. Scoops them all in. And Immortals just going to run rampant in this team. By Fenix blows up, and Belter goes off.
Pobelter's in the house. The notorious B.O.B. strikes again. Oh my goodness, Huni was just the sacrifice there. He didn't have ult, he decides to go in anyway. They all clump up on the hecarim, and Pobelter slides right into that brush.
You said it already, the high pressure Immortal style, always wanted to go in.
Oh man, they really, I mean, they even talked about in the interview, you know, Pobelter, he's been stepping up. Last night was great for him. They're playing around him, you know, with the vision, with the jungle pressure, and right there, that was a huge setup.
Yeah.
All he had to do was slide right in, and very good execution on it, but man, that is a heartbreaker for Team Liquid. They are extremely in the hole right now.
Yeah, an ace and 2 turrets, plus the Rift Turret is the damage, as we're gonna watch this one again.
Yeah. All right, so remember that Huni had just used his ultimate to win that 1v1? So he's gonna teleport in here, and he's just gonna try and draw the attention. They go on Fabbbyyy. He gets everybody here. Even with the cocoon missing, all of Team Liquid are right there for the picking in. Pobelter, flash ult, gets all members of Team Liquid. And then it's just cleanup here. Who can whack-a-mole? Everybody's trying to scramble, and Sivir gets a bunch of them with the ricochets there. Team Liquid trying to strike back, though. Trying to recover from it, trying to get an objective. They're gonna be able to get it before the wave clear arrives, so at least they get a turret back for their troubles. But as I said, that was a huge chunk and giant momentum swing in the game here.
Just a trade as well, because Huni actually got bottom outer, might even move in for that tier 2, so Immortals continuing to do work. 4-1 up in turrets, and after that big play, 6,000 gold ahead almost. Huni might make it more as this tower with the Trinity Force is getting shredded. Fenix is here to fend him off. Chain lands in, Huni, not that tanky. Fenix backs off. Pobelter's in the area. I would back away too.
Look how much damage he did to that turret, though. With the early Trinity Force, hecarim spamming Qs, you can just melt turrets. The split push is definitely a very real threat. He's got a level up on Trundle. I definitely take Huni in the side laner draft at the moment. Nice little sidestep there. Pobelter doesn't even have to use abilities. Oh, he's just dodging everything here. Spears as well.
Berserker Greaves helping out, but nice little trick there from Pobelter.
Yeah, also these deep wards, as we were talking about, you know, trying to get that deep vision really helps in avoiding these. Everyone can call out the origin of the arrow, so you can see it coming, and Immortals doing what's necessary. They've got their lead, so they move their ward line up into the jungle, try and cut off the options for Team Liquid to get back into this game.
It's now time to assault the bottom lane as well, I think. Dragon up in a minute 30, it will be Ocean Drake that spawns next. Dardoch waiting in the wings, seeing if he can't pick someone off, but Total does not fall for that one, and just pushes the wave and backs out.
Yeah, it's kind of what you have to do at this point as Team Liquid. First things first, they need to get, you know, pink wards and sweepers to try and clear out.
Uh-oh! Once Reignover in there for Huni for the ulti, now Turtles are in. Goodbye, Matt.
Well, that's also going to be the turret, and they're going to run straight up bottom lane. Fenix is recalling here. There's the turret down. Didn't even get to see it die, and Immortals quickly strike. Now they're going to switch over to mid.
Yep, good transfer here. Can move themselves up into the mid lane and see if they can't take themselves another turret. Dardoch's here, Fabbyy's in the area as well. Fenix TP not back up yet. This is a hard defense.
Yeah, they don't have wave clear. This comp, if you get behind here, Trundle can't do anything without getting up into the minion wave, and he's so squishy, having gone for Ravenous first. There's no chance that he gets up there, so it's pretty much Team Liquid trying to hold on to their inhibitor turrets, which is extremely difficult considering the lead that Immortals have accrued.
Yeah, good guy Huni. Gonna go ahead and do some jungling. Make sure Pobelter gets that blue buff. Drake in 15 seconds. See if Immortals are set up for it. Team Liquid, though, just trying to keep up as Immortals with Huni's teleport back up. Actually, I guess all the TPs are almost back up now, so definitely a bit more room now for TL to play around the map, but really at the whim of Immortals and where they want to go next. 8,000 gold up before 20 minutes is an absolutely massive lead.
Yeah, especially if you consider the compositions that both teams are running. I mean, Team Liquid, they're built all around Ashe arrows picking somebody off, or LeBlanc having vision control, getting picks. You know, wow. They count on, you just assume that Trundle split push presence is a given.
Fenix bleeding. I thought Reignover went back in, doesn't quite connect. Q lands, but soraka's there for the heals. Reignover doing some damage with that Rylai's.
Huni doesn't want to let him get away with it either. They're going to chase him right back into their own base here. And that's going to be Drake given up. It is just Ocean, so that's not too bad because Team Liquid, when they go for something, they're just going to go for all-ins. They really can't handle a sustained fight at this point. They're so far behind anyway. They have to have an Ashe arrow into an instant assassination from LeBlanc and Nidalee.
Yeah, you're not a favorite to win a siege versus Ocean Drake Soraka. With Huni, ooh, good dodge. Just majestically gallops out. Gonna hit that recall button and look for his next item. Looks like Randy was actually Frozen Heart.
Yeah, Frozen
gonna
Heart
be that next
sure.
one.
It's gonna work against pretty much everybody on the team.
And there it is.
But yeah, I mean, really good job, Immortals, playing around, you know, not only their own composition, but recognizing the game plan of Team Liquid. Reignover from the very beginning, focusing on the mid lane. He actually got that pretty lucky counter invade on Dardoch when Dardoch walked up and Reignover was able to chase him out. Being down the summoner spell as well was very, very big for him. Even though it didn't result in a kill, it adds a lot to why the mid lane went the way that it did.
Yep, and you talked about it. There was definitely good attention from Reignover in the early game, making sure his solo lane has stayed up, setting up Pobelter for success, but clearly a good investment because he's gone off in this game. 3-0-3 already as the Immortals look to pressure. Matt, slowed by the Rylai's. Ulti popped as well. They're going to keep chasing, but Matt flushes out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the four-man group of Immortals is extremely threatening. So is the split pusher here. Huni with the Ignite can take out anyone.
Oh, not quite. Pobelter looks for the play, but Huni's in the backline. Fabbbyyy taking out Pobelter on a rampage now as Immortals going to just charge straight down mid lane.
Yeah, they are not messing around anymore. And they're going to be knocking at inhibitor doors pretty quick here. They could go for Baron, either Baron take or actually just the bait. Either way, they'd be able to catch somebody.
Well, plenty of sustain here. That's going to charge in onto the turret.
It's dead.
Yeah, it's shredded. TL just can't really go in. Reignover actually takes out Fenix. Pobelter back in there, just going off with the auto attacks. Going to keep chasing. Phoenix's clone's the next target, but they're going to take the inhib instead. TL will live, but their base will not.
Absolutely demolished here. Immortals, we talked about how quick they were going to press it. And man, they've not given Team Liquid any opportunity. Here comes the teleport home guards from
Adrian!
both of them.
Oh, a good exhaust. Now back in. Wildturtle pulls in, but that's Fenix flashing out. Cocoon nails him though, and Reignover takes him out. Now the chase is on Pobelter. Looks for Dardoch, the flash out there, but Lourlo also a target. Slow is good. Pobelter with another.
Oh, you can teleport in, so can we.
And here's Huni. Oh, he finds Fabbbyyy. Just gonna chase him down. It's a bad time to be Ashe. Pobelter moves in, gets the double. There's the ulti out onto Matt from hecarim. Cocoon lands in. The stun is good. Reignover now with his next kill, Immortals. 15 kills and counting. They're going crazy.
Yeah, this one is snowballing out of control. Like they talked about on the analyst desk, you know, Mark was saying, Team Liquid's a team. You know, if they get behind, they're going to keep trying, though. And when that happens, it looks like this. The kill snowball, and Immortals going to end it very early on.
Yeah, huge win here for Immortals. In under 25 minutes, they'll ravage through the Nexus turrets and take down the Nexus. Game 1 goes over to Immortals.